Baylor returned some scoring and experience from last year, but where has Keontae George kind of impressed from kind of when you've watched film so far, and what does he add to the dimensions of their offense?
Yeah, at his size, at 6'4", 6'5", whatever he is, his ability to make explosive plays with the basketball where he can score at all three levels. He's a big physical guard, plays in the paint well, is shooting the ball, tremendous from three also. So, he's an outstanding talent. He's, he's probably a projected lottery pick because of that talent. So he's somebody that, we've got to be very intentional with our ball pressure, our disruption, and always account for him because he's a really gifted player.
You'd always like to get that last non-conference game in, but what were the deliberations like given the way the weather was coming in? You want guys to be able to get home, reset, like Jaron said, and figure out whether that could be done with the game played or not being played.
Yeah, look, the truth of the matter is Jamie, Jamie called me and said, hey, look, not being able to get home for Christmas is makes me sad. It's something that I don't want for anybody. They all need to be able to get home, and the harsh reality with the weather is that wouldn't have been the possibility for most, or even for those driving. We wouldn't, we look out for their safety and their well-being. So I think at the top of everything we do is we want to do what's best for the young men in our program and look out for their safety, their interest, their well-being. And it wouldn't have been a responsible choice to put those guys in a spot where they really want to get home. And now they're trying to drive in a blizzard. And we also all know we were all 18 to 23 at one point in our life, and you don't always, think through those things as well as you should. So really it was just a health, safety, well-being, care about our guys' decision.
Everybody get back okay? I know the flights have been.
Yeah, it's really a credit to our guys. To be honest with you, I was somewhat surprised that everybody was back. We had told everybody on the 26th that, you need to be back by 3 o'clock and that we were going to practice, that afternoon. And to our guys' credit, everybody got to the airport early. Some guys had to get a different flight, change a flight, move a flight. But to their credit, at 3 o'clock, whether they drove or they flew, everybody was here. So that was a great sign for me as we move forward with our guys, just that level of, they had the opportunity to go home, but that accountability and responsibility, know how important it is to get back and get right back to work.
What have you guys been doing in practice? Do you feel like you've gotten better over this time? Do you need a game at this point?
Yeah.
Whether you want it or not.
Yeah, I do. From like a coach's standpoint, you love the practice time because you can work on the things you feel like you need to continue to improve upon. Defensively, we have a pretty clear identity of what we're doing and how we're trying to do it. Is it always perfect? No. But at the same time, a lot of our work has come offensively. Just guys playing for one another. Felt like, the last couple games we did a better job of that, getting the ball in the paint and finding the right guy. We shot the ball better from three leading into it. So those are things we're really trying to build on, and then continuing to focus on, how we can bring some physical play to our offense, whether that's posting Rob, a guy like TK who did an awesome job, in the minutes he had, cutting along the baseline, and just finding ways to have physical offense as well.
Defensively, Saturdays, how much of the game is going to be limiting their ability just to shoot attempts from the arc?
Yeah, they're, better than anybody we've played to this point in terms of their guards, shooting the ball from long range. 3 guys in the starting lineup are all making 2.5 to 3 and change threes a game. It's impressive. And they do a great job when they're comfortable. Not only they make rhythm shots, they make hard shots late in the clock, and they make them from deep. So you've got to always dictate. We've got to dictate defensively. We can't just let them zip the ball around the perimeter. And then we've got to close out aggressively so that they don't get those shots. And then late in the clock, we also need to be like in gaps. We can't leave guys on an island one-on-one because their guys are very good at creating those attempts. So that's going to have to be very intentional. And then we all know as well, one big thing they do is they really go the offensive glass too. So their 4s and 5s they've always done a great job of that. They're really focused and committed to doing it. So you got to take away the shot and you got to finish the play on the glass, and you got to be the aggressor to do that.
How's, excuse me, how's the health and injury situation of your team?
Yeah, right now I'd say overall we're relatively healthy. We do have one injury in practice. Jazz, he'd hurt his finger, and so he's I don't know, he's got a broken finger. He's going to be out for a little bit. What that exact timeline is, I don't know. It could be ballpark a month, but we're just continuing, every day for him to do what he needs to do to try to get healthy. But outside of that, everybody's 100% good.
Go back to first half. I feel like I've talked to you about this before. Last year at Baylor, Robert, what are your thoughts? What do you remember about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, for us, Robert, certainly there had an amazing game, played great, and I feel like, he's confident in this matchup and what he can do and how he can do things. And he brings a physical dynamic to our team, which is really effective for him. So what I remember is him having a mindset, a mentality, and aggressiveness, finishing plays, going to the basket, going to the rim, and that's going to be something that's going to be important for us again.
Losing Jazz, what does that do for you guys, I guess specifically with stretching the floor offensively from that position?
Yeah, I mean, there's, Jazz is somebody that certainly we've counted on in terms of being able to make shots, help facilitate offense. And yet at the same time, I'd say his greatest value probably comes defensively and being our best rebounder. So what it does is it opens the door for guys like Trey King and Demarion Watson and Hassan Ward to step up in the opportunities they have. In terms of spacing it specifically, that's, to me, for us, like, we're a decent shooting team. We're not like an elite shooting team. So as much as spacing matters, it's cutting, it's throwing the ball in the post, it's having some physicality to what we do and how we do things offensively. And so that's really where we feel like we don't, this probably isn't the game we want to have a three-point shootout right against our opponent. So I think it comes down to more we've got more guys that we can post, that we can hit on cuts, penetrating catches. We need to take advantage of those guys' strengths and do that.
There's not a concern that that'd be a season ender for him?
Not from what we've not from what we've gotten at this point. Like I said, it seems like it's probably weeks to a month in that range. Exactly what that would be, I don't know, but that's kind of what I guess with the broken bone, that's kind of what's been said at this point.